Hello to you once again. This video is a follow-up to the one that I uploaded on the 28th of May this year. And as the deadline for entry into the problem-solving competition was yesterday, the 31st of July, today we are now at the 1st of August, and as promised, here is the solution to this problem. White is required to checkmate in 2 moves, and congratulations to anyone who managed to solve it correctly, and if you have entered the competition then you will be accepted. Now, I did give a sort of a clue at the end of that video. We'll think about that in just a moment. What we'll do first of all though is we'll look at one pretty obvious try, but it doesn't work, and that is to place the pawn here. What are we trying to do with this? Well, what we're wanting to do is to shut this bishop out and deliver Queen h2 checkmate. Queen h2 checkmate does feature in this, but not like that. Can you see why f4 fails? Because of this. And then if you look at that position, there is no way that you can checkmate on the next move. So that was my initial look at this with 1 or 2 other ideas, but then I thought to myself, well, I think we need to do something different, but with that pawn. That's the clue. So that's the starting position. White to checkmate in 2 moves. You have a choice here. I gave you the hint, take it the right way. Which way do you go? Well, again, congratulations to anyone who picked up on that. I hope I didn't give too much away. I don't think I did, but censor me if you will. I hope you don't. It's a neat little clue, I think, and if you look at this, you have 2 choices. You can take here or you can take here. Which is right and which is wrong? Well, for anyone who takes here, what are we attempting to do here? Well, what we're attempting to do is to say knight to e4. The bishop is pinned, and that would indeed be checkmate. So what is the problem with that? This is after white has played f takes g4. Well, the major problem with that is that we need defense of this, and this admirably provides it, while at the same time still covering e3. And you try and mate on the next move, and I'm afraid you cannot do it, because now should white play knight takes e4, it's queen takes e4, and there would be no mate in 2 moves. So that is no good. So by process of elimination, we must take the other way. And so very well done to anyone who did decide that from the starting position you do have to take f takes e4. Now what we're threatening here, of course, is to take this way and deliver checkmate. Why is there a difference? Well, what you need to do here is to remember that this now is in need of protecting and not here. So why don't we just look at all the moves from left to right that have any influence on a suitable defense? Well, the queen could come here to defend against knight there, or it could come in here, and in both cases it would fail, not against that, because then the bishop could take and it's not pinned, and if the queen were here it could take the knight. So what happens if the queen does go to f7? Well, like I said earlier, you need the black queen to defend against e3. Now with deflecting it either to g7 or f7, white's queen can simply come in here, backed up by the knight, and that is checkmate. So that's why no queen move works coming over to the defense of g4 one way or another, either directly protecting the pawn or indirectly blocking the pin. So what else does he have moving left to right? Well, he can move this bishop into here. which of course now, if we tried taking this pawn, he'd take back, and again, the bishop is no longer pinned. But of course, we have an immediate checkmate here with queen to f4, there's no doubt about that. So that doesn't work. That's obviously not good enough. What is not so obviously perhaps worthy of consideration? Well, what about the knight coming into here protecting g4? Now, of course, if you take there, he takes back. Well, don't rush in here like you did when you captured the bishop, because he'll play here. So what do you do instead? Let's just put this back for a moment and have another look at that. That position is after f takes e4, knight e5. So what do you do there? Well, before, do you remember, we were looking at this at the very early stages of this video. The knight is blocking the bishop, so queen h2 is checkmate. He can't interpose anything. So that works. So, continuing to move from left to right, what else does he have? We've looked at the queen, the bishop, and the knight. What about if he takes this rook? Now, this is interesting, because, of course, the bishop can't possibly be pinned, the rook's off the board. But in deflecting the rook to here, he no longer has any protection on d2. And so we come down and deliver checkmate that way. Now that's a neat one as well. Did you find all these? If you've solved it, you did. So, again, we're at the f takes e4 stage. And we've tried all these. This pawn cannot move. The king can't move. Moving this would do no good because you just play knight still to g4. What about moving the bishop? Well, the obvious move, of course, is to take this pawn and give check. The problem with that is that we can come this way now because there's no queen on d4 like in the earlier variation to stop us, and that is equally double check and mate. And if you notice, with this black dark squared bishop, black light squared bishop, I should say, if it moves anywhere else, if it doesn't take the pawn, if it moves anywhere, here, then of course it is knight takes here, double check and mate. So moving the bishop, either capturing the pawn on e4 or moving anywhere else, is of no use whatsoever. And so that effectively wraps it up. There is nothing left to play. That is the end of this problem, and that's the checkmate in 2 moves. In taking this, it opened up the f-line nicely for the knight there. And so I think we better have a variation here. We'll just move this bishop out of the way again and we'll take it. And that is indubitably checkmate. And congratulations once again to anyone who managed to solve this. Like I say, it's not a difficult problem, but there are 1 or 2 twists and turns there that you do have to be mindful of. And I hope you enjoyed this. And good luck to any of you that did solve it correctly and have entered the competition. And all the very best to you in that and elsewhere. Goodbye.